Zel Boy Army. It's your boy Zelonius, my beautiful, spicy friend back here, Mr. Ainsley Harriet. I've got a banger of a video here for you today. I think this is going to be a spicy one. I think it's one that will be appropriate to a lot of you guys, that will help you out a lot. It's a Gold 1 to Elite coaching session. So, this session, based on the video that you're going to see, it's a gameplay analysis I did for a Gold 1 player who's doing private coaching with me. If you're interested in booking private coaching with me, then you can DM me on Twitter. I can give you more details about that. It's something that I've offered for over 2 years. I've had 200 plus clients that I've improved lots. I've had people go up 2 to 3 ranks, improve a lot of the game, and got lots of great feedback. I'm also Roma esports head coach, so I've got a lot of experience in that. So hopefully it's something you guys think you can trust me in. I think I've had lots of good results over the years. This session is with Sean, a Gold 1 player who came to me wanting to improve his game. And yeah, his gameplay analysis is trying to look at his game, focus on some of the good stuff he does, focus on some of the bad stuff he does, and give him advice to go forward so he can improve from a Gold 1 player to an Elite player. In this video you'll want to stick around till the end because you can see lots of different stuff. You can see the summary I give at the end. I'll talk about some of the things that Gold players do that maybe holds them back from getting Elite, and talk about some of the stuff Elite players do that separates them from Gold players. From this video you could probably pick up a lot of advice from your own gameplay that you could see in it, and you get to see what a coaching session literally is like in person. You can see what you might get from it if it's something that interested you, booking one with me. Anyone who doesn't know about my streams, please check a link in the description below. I stream every single day over at Twitch. Also, if it's something that might interest you in getting better at the game, improving, I recommend the Patreon that I run with Jambu and the FIFA analyst. We also have a top 50 trader on Xbox called 5 Star Foot. The link in the description below. Get a lot more access to me. It's a great way to improve at the game. Thank you very much for watching this video, boys. Any questions, any comments, any feedback, if you like this video, please let me know, so I could do more like this. Thank you for watching. Enjoy. Okay, here we are, the game against Sean. In this, I played a game against him. Sometimes people just literally just send me a game of their footage, but this game was a game I played against him. I recorded it, so after the game I could go away and analyse it properly. So here you go. See there, I just do a ball roll, drag back just to create some angles. A lot of the time, tricks for me aren't even about beating a man, it's just about setting a better angle, making the next pass better for yourself. It's pretty good defending so far from Sean. He's holding good shape. It's pretty good defending there. He stepped in at the right time. That trick there, I don't think there's too much point in that. It's a little bit needless risk. Okay, this pass here, I'm going to watch this. We'll rewind and pause it at key moments. There's nothing wrong with this pass. What I would have done here, because he has a 2v1 here, what I would do a 1-2 pass with him, so L1 or LB plus the pass button, and what happens there, he passes it there, I either mark that, because that's the only player who can deal with him, or I mark that and he runs this way, or I mark that and he runs down the line with the 1-2. But what Sean ends up doing, he forces a pass here. That pass is never ever going to work. Passes on this game, when you're facing the wrong way, they're instantly just so much more error prone. Plus, unless I get really unlucky with the defender here, he's always going to cover that. So he goes from having a really good chance to play a pass down the line, and that's a very dangerous position on this game. He has that opportunity, instead he forces the pass and gives me the ball back in a position where he was in a pretty good chance. Something that a lot of people do, even pros do a lot in this game, is they force passes. Okay, here. You can see here when I get the ball back. Let's have a look. Here, he knows what to expect, he switches to him. But he needs to switch a little bit quicker to cut that off. because he doesn't switch quite quick enough. It allows me to get him down the line. Here, I wanted to do the fake shot that way, and if I'd have done that, I'd have been in a pretty good position. Maybe I inputted it wrong, maybe I just got unlucky, but you can't really give too much space down the line when I've got someone as quick as Mbappe, because if I'd have got into this position, then it's a bit of a gamble from him. Do I keep going here for a cutback like that, or do I cut in? It becomes quite hard to defend. Whereas if he'd have just got his fullback and cut it off a little bit quicker, it instantly gets rid of that. Elite players, as you move up, will start to cut things like that out a little bit quicker, which means he's put under a lot less pressure. It's good defending that. He doesn't dive in. He holds his shape. One of the things that, like Sean, that I thought was quite different about him is a lot of people dive in too quick. Whereas Sean maybe sometimes across the games we played gives a little bit too much space. Most people's issue tends to be that they give up too much space. But Sean was a very good defender, I found. This is something that happened quite a few times. Like when he gets that hit there, he's a bit unlucky with the touch, but he didn't need to pass it and force it there so much. He could have gone up that way, or switched it there. The one player that he did pass to, he gave the ball away because he passed it to a player who, if he didn't take a perfect touch, was going to be under pressure himself anyway. Okay, here. I probably should have cut it in myself here. But there, if he wasn't going to cover that quicker, he needed to right stick switch to him to cover that quicker. Because as soon as R9 gets it in this position, it is very dangerous, and you can't really be giving chances like that to R9. It's just too dangerous. Okay, here. He gives the ball away very sloppily here. These aren't that easy. For some reason, they just make them hard to lock on. But here, that's just some way over time. You just need to practice aiming it right to the fullback. It's good defending again. Holds his shape, reads the pass. And forces the ball forward. There wasn't really anything on. So sometimes there, you just want to go backwards and build up properly, rather than forcing yourself forwards. Because a lot of the time what can happen is that you end up forcing yourself forward, leaving yourself isolated, and there's no way that you can build up properly. You don't want to be outnumbered in the attack either, that's the problem. Again here, for some reason my defender cleared that randomly. Here, he's forced himself forward, whereas you look, 1, 2, 3. You just have a guy at the bottom down there. But look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have so many defenders back. Sean's just not really going to be able to do anything here. He shouldn't have forced himself forward that fast, because when he forces himself that fast, it just means he's isolated. It's so hard for him to do anything there. So yeah, building up backwards, and he has a lot more options now, so it's a lot easier for him to attack. What I will say is, something that could be good for Sean would be sometimes a counter-attack at pace if you can catch me without many defenders back. But if the opponent's team's in shape, you don't want to force it forward to 3 attackers against 6 defenders. You see here, I've not got enough options, so I just go backwards, don't force it, and make sure I've got more time to build up. Very good defending against Sean. Read the danger well there. Okay, there. Fine to counter-attack because he's got more men. Very good trick. Bit unpredictable, didn't expect that. In the 2 games we played, that was the best thing Sean did in the game. Really good build-up. Here, what he did there, so nice. Because that trick there, I think he's going to go down the line and try whip it there. Being unpredictable like this is really good, because it can catch your opponent off guard. A lot of people use tricks in silly positions. Using tricks sparingly, but at right times like this is a way to throw your opponent off guard because they just don't expect it. He didn't force passes, he passed at the right time. The build up here is brilliant. What he's done by counter-attacking when my team out of position is, he's bypassed my midfield and he's caught me off guard so he can have he can outnumber me in the attack. Makes the right passes, the right finish in the right situation. Brilliant attack by Sean, and that was like If a pro had scored that against me, I'd have been very impressed. That was a really good goal. It's only a friendly game in a coaching session, but generally in this type of game now, you don't just start going time wasting, but you want to control the game a bit more, keep the ball a bit more now, because you're in the lead. Sean there doing a good job again of holding his shape. The switch here, maybe meant to switch it to the fullback, but there, R9 kind of covers this man at the bottom. I would have just turned a bit there, because Kante's good enough to turn quick, and play it there. You don't want to give the ball away stupidly. Just slow it down a bit, keep the ball safe. He ended up getting the ball back because Atal's not very good at heading, but regardless, it was a risk he didn't need to take. I don't really know how Messi missed this. I feel like this pass here, it's not one I would necessarily go for because the risk's quite high, but it did pay off, and sometimes you do have to go for these type of passes. He's got very unlucky that Messi's missed this. It's first time on his weak foot, but you still think arguably the greatest player to ever play the game should score. My advice, and even though people watching might think this sounds silly, I'm trying to give the advice that makes people most consistent. Take a touch. There's no way that if he takes a touch he isn't scoring. If he takes a touch it goes in every time. It should go in anyway, of course, but taking a touch here would have guaranteed it goes in. Double A pass there, it just slows it down a bit. The reason I do double A passes are if the defenders are not right on the player, but if they're right on the player, it just slows it down and you need it to be sharper. Sean in this first half though has played really well so far. One thing Sean, I've said, does really well, he holds his shape well, but he drags his Ferdinand out of position here. Rather than dragging Rio out because he's his centre-back. Oh, just got a follow, lovely. He should have been getting Sissoko and covering this area, covering there himself. You don't want to drag your centre-backs out of position like this because it can leave a gap in the middle. Especially now no one uses overload ball size much because it's been nerfed. You don't want to pull your centre-backs out of position. Got blocked because he had enough men back, but it gave me a better chance than he needed to because he needlessly pulled his players out of position. You don't necessarily need to dive in like that with your centre-back to get the ball. You just need to make sure you put your opponent in a position where they're forced to go backwards, because a lot of people get impatient, and when that happens, they make more mistakes. This here, I don't even think it's bad defending. This was just a very good attack that sometimes your opponents will do. We'll watch it though, and what Sean could have done, he dives in here with Sissoko. What I'm talking about with the CDMs, the CDM there should be protecting this bit. You should be protecting this centre bit here. That's where most of the danger is on FIFA 20. That's where most of the quick passing, the goals are going to come from. Sean dove in a bit and just left that gap. Soon as he dives in there, he leaves that gap. I've got more options around here. It instantly becomes easier to pass it quick. Most people won't punish that, but if you want to get to the elite ranks and get more consistent, you need to stop giving gaps and space around the box. The quick scoop turn there, it's hard to avoid because his Rio's been put into a bad position because of the amount of space that's given him. So he almost was forced to dive in, whereas normally you wouldn't want to. And then from here, the problem is, if he marks that with Varane, then I just run here and just hit it near post. So because he's pulled his CDMs out of position, he's just given me a little bit too much space. I've got enough attackers to exploit it. So at this point, it's just literally just trying to predict what I do. Whereas before, it could have been, he had so many defenders back, I wouldn't have had this opportunity. Obviously, he's unfortunate to concede like that, the rebound, but he shouldn't have really ever given me that chance anyway, because he just gave me a bit too much space. That's the thing, Sean at this point had played brilliant and defended really well, not giving me too much space. But as you move up the ranks and try to get more consistent, if you make silly mistakes like that, a good player can punish you. It's very easy to get frustrated at yourself then, and that can change the game. Again here, first time pass. Him and him, Ronaldo and Charleston are so far away from Varane. There's just no way. There's no way that they're going to get to Varane if Varane takes a touch. He could have even gone back there. He could have taken a touch and seen what happened. He could have taken a touch and hit it there. If I go there, he could take a touch, gone there. There's so many easy options on that there's just no need to give the ball away in this position. Giving the ball away so cheaply just keeps giving it back to your opponent. If you don't have the ball, you can't score. And if your opponent has the ball, they're more likely to score. So again, just giving the ball away cheaply. One thing that could improve Sean's game a lot is just slowing it down, passing it around the back a bit more, taking his time, using the radar, picking out the free men. Because when he forces it forward so much, it just gives me so many more opportunities than I need to. And the better players will take advantage of this eventually. See, again, I forced it. That was my fault. Again, very unlucky. The rebound there is very unlucky. But him forcing the ball back there, he got unlucky in how the goal went in, but his mistake to give me the ball back gave me that other chance. That if I keep getting this many chances around the box, there's a good chance I will eventually get lucky. He had enough time to take a touch and hit it up there, hit it there, through ball at there. There were so many options. Sean didn't need to give me the ball back in this position so much. That, if the AI did block that anyway, would have gone in. And of course, like I say, it's very misfortunate for Sean that happened, but it's something that he could have easily avoided. Again, too predictable. You need to look at the player that I'm controlling. If you look here, let's go back. I'm controlling that player. Soon as you see that I'm controlling that player and I'm running that way, I'm going to intercept that R9 is really fast. At the lower ranks, it's not as important because the person that is being controlled, if it's by a silver, low gold player, they're probably not going to be the best at reading the game. But when you get to the elite ranks, top 100, trying to really improve, it's important to look at who the opponent's controlling, because that's going to give you a good idea of where the safer passes are. See there? I went backwards because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders, and I had 2 attackers helping me. If I'd have rushed it forward, I'd have had no options, so I went backwards, build up safely. It's good defending. I maybe got a little bit lucky with the animation, but for the most part that was the right thing Sean did. Again, forcing the ball forwards. Even if Messi had somehow got that ball, it's just not putting him in a position that's going to be very helpful. That was a needless trick by me. Didn't need to do that. I don't mind that too much. It was the 45th minute, so he wanted to get the ball forward quick. In the 45th minute, you want to get the ball forward a bit quicker. See, I use the offside trap just to push my team up a bit. Allows me to press a bit easier from kickoff. I like that Sean's kept the ball a bit more here. It's good. He's put himself in a good position there. There, it's just too predictable. I feel like Sean, against average players, this type of stuff would work. But when you play against someone better, and these are the type of people, you don't necessarily need to beat me to hit elite, but that type of play won't work against the type of people that you need to beat to be hitting elite. You need to be a bit more predictable. Like his goal he got was brilliant trick, quick play around the box. You just need to be a little bit more unpredictable around the box. Left stick dribbling, more 1-2 passes to generate runs, drag backs, not forcing the predictable. When you force the predictable, it just feeds into the defender. Like you see, Sean reads the game very well defensively. And they're just messing around on the ball. He had a very easy pass up there. Once you get impressed, just looking at the free man. For Sean, one of the ways I'd say to improve quickly would be just try really focus on keeping the ball a bit better. I'm not saying keep the ball for the sake of it, but just keeping the ball a lot better, looking for the free man, and over time naturally will just keep possession a lot better. I don't mind that pass too much because that was a pass that if it had gone through would have put him in a very good position. You see that? I've just gone backwards and building up. Okay, here. The defending here. Soon as R9 gets it in that position, if I go that way, he can switch to Rio, so it's fine. He doesn't need to mark that way with Varane. The danger, and a lot of people will do a heel-to-heel here once you move to high levels, is this area here. The way to defend the heel-to-heel is not to dive in. You have to hold jockey and not fully back off, but kind of go that way slowly backwards, because the heel-to-heel then will go into you. But what Sean does is he goes that way and too fast, and the heel-to-heel just glides past him, and you can see. So it just glides past him. This isn't a guaranteed goal from here with R9. It hits the post, obviously, but you do not want to be giving someone like R9 those type of chances, because they will go in eventually, and I still nearly scored from the rebound. Again here, holding the shape's okay for the most part. Here, he should probably switch from him quicker, because Neymar's just not going, he's not doing anything here, and the danger's going to be finding a bit of space there. I would be controlling one of the CDMs and covering this bit to stop me getting an easy pass into R9. There's not a massively consistent or efficient way to score this year. The best way is to have a 5-star weak foot attacker, mess around, slow build up around the box, and then finally when the space opens, finds his feet and turn. If you control the CDMs here, Sean, and cover it, it's going to be very hard for me to ever find that space. But he doesn't do it quick enough. He just gives R9 enough space. If R9 takes a better scoop turn, he's in such a good position, he'll score the guaranteed left foot. The scoop turn sends him a bit wide because his first touch was a bit poor, but it just gives a needless position that didn't need to happen. Okay, and goal kicks. With Neymar and Messi up front, you just need to play it short. Play it short, or do a like 1 to 2 bar long power long pass that just goes to a CDM or a fullback. Something that's going to stop losing the ball. Because if you're giving it Neymar and Messi, they're going to lose every header, and again, it's just giving the ball away sloppy. Good defending, and like I said, 90% of the time, Sean's defending and holding his team shaped brilliant. Most players struggle a lot more with that. I find pro players sometimes dive in more than Sean. It's just sometimes he gives too much space up. There's been a little bit more proactive around the box. Again here, it's a very good counter attack. Chance anyway. I would do a big through ball here. What a big through ball here would do, take a touch first to make the pass better. It'd force me to drag the centre back out there, and then that's a good position to counter. But Sean, I read that. You can see instantly I move the defender there because I'm very confident he's going to just pass back there. Sean goes to that. That's where you just need to be a bit more careful. Look at who I'm controlling, because he just gives me the ball back very cheaply. And unlucky from me here. Probably could have gone in this one. Soon as I get that there, I've got no other option than to go onto my right. I'm not going to go there because I'm just walking into everyone. But if I go up here, I've got this man making a run and this man making a run. So in my opinion, that's the kind of predictable thing. Sean just dives in a little bit. I don't think he was holding jockey. It's that whenever you're defending dribbling, you should always be holding the jockey button. Move up that way slowly, and just, you can, with that moving up that way, you can just stop R9 getting that free shot off. Again, forces the ball forward. I wouldn't be going for these type of passes unless there's a big chance of something good coming from them. They're just too risky otherwise. Good switch. Switch is very nice for keeping the ball. See me just using the offside trap to push up. This is a lot better from Sean keeping the ball. The way he's kept the ball here is so much more effective that long term, if he can do this more, it'll put him into really good positions. I don't mind that pass. That was a decent pass that wasn't far off going through, and if it went through, he gets put into a really good position. See, just build up slowly. I'm controlling the game a lot here because at this point of the game, with 15 minutes to go, it's on the opponent who's losing to press me more. I'm not keeping the ball as much here as I maybe would against a pro in a game that mattered because it's just a coaching session. This was better from Sean. Even though I still got the shot off, what he did here was he forced me into a worse position. He controls the Sissoko enough that R9's not got the space to create something big. And he defends this a lot better with Rio, so I've not got the same space and there's a bit more pressure on the shot. So Richarlison was probably never going to score that. Again, Messi getting the ball there, it's never going to work. Messi's never going to win that, so just practice goal kick, Sean, just to give yourself a more safe option. Just a little 1 to 2 bar power to a CDM normally works for me. Okay, here, he gets the ball eventually, but a mistake that quite a lot of people make here. I see it. Don't ever slide tackle unless you know 100% you will get the ball or there's not a big risk. Slide tackle here with Rio takes him out of the game and just gives me a lot more space around the box. Against someone who's good at dribbling and got 5-star weak foot like R9, you can't dive in like that because he's got the options to go both ways. Rio eventually recovers, but it's just a risk that wasn't needed. Or wasn't needed to be taken. I only slide tackle if it's like last ditch. And then Neymar's just not got quite the pace to beat that. When you're getting to this point of the game, maybe you have to take a few more risks, but you also want to protect the ball better. Yeah, so here, this is why 5-star weak foot's so good, by the way, because it's so hard to defend this because he doesn't know which way I'm going to go. But you can see here, Sean wasn't jockeying, he was sprinting, and he did what I tell people not to do. Don't press tackle unless you know the ball is 100% guaranteed. Soon as he presses tackle there, Varane lunges in, I cut back onto the right, it's always going to be a guaranteed goal from there. Against 5-star weak foots, you have to slow your player down, use the jockey to stop the dribbling, and just make yourself as big as possible. Make it harder to get done like that. Don't press tackle unless you know for a fact you will get the ball. See, I'm just slowing the build up, keeping the ball. Don't have to do anything too risky. I'm winning, controlling the game. Still go forward, I don't need to time waste, especially in a friendly. But I've not really got a guaranteed option up front, so I'm just playing it safe. I'd also shown in a game, if you're a goal or two down later, I'd probably switch to team press, because you need to force your way back into the game a bit more. Hey, literally with a minute to go in the game there, I got a phone call from the landlords, the place I rent, so I'll finish the game quicker and do the summary. Sean again just forces the ball forward a bit. Okay. Game over. So, the general consensus I'd say on what I've seen there is Sean is quite different. This is why I think gameplay analysis can be quite good, because it's different for a lot of people. Not everyone plays the same way. The same advice doesn't just work for everyone. For Sean there, his defending and keeping shape was brilliant. He just needs to sometimes around the box just control the CDM a bit more, because Sean's really good at reading the play. But a lot of the time you rely on your centre back to make the tackle. Whereas if you control the CDM and cover that edge of the box, it just gives you a bit more protection if you don't read it perfect. Just make sure you don't dive in, don't pull players out, but you're pretty good at that. And then with the tricks around the box, just hold and jockey a bit more, slowing your player down. That'll help you defend it a lot. When you win the ball back around the box as well, just looking for the free man, not panicking, not forcing the ball away straight away. Because you defended really well, but you probably forced yourself into defending a lot more than you should have had to, because you just kept giving the ball away so cheaply. Use the radar if you need. Pick out the men who are in good positions. Just keeping the ball, playing a lot safer, will stop you having to defend so much, which will help a lot instantly. You use the switch a few times. Use that more, because that'll be something that instantly will make a big difference when it comes to how you defend, because you won't have to defend as much. Keeping the ball a lot more will instantly improve your game, sure, because you'll get to attack more, your opponents will get more frustrated and they'll get less attacks. The goal you got, go watch that back, because that was a brilliant attack. Being unpredictable like that, playing the right passes at the right time, that's the type of way that you're going to break people down. Using more 1-2 passes, drag backs, unpredictable tricks, things like that are where you're going to get more goals. Don't force the ball as much. It felt like a lot of the time you do things that work against worse players, but when you get against better players, you have to watch who they're controlling, because you end up doing predictable things that are just very easy to read and defend. Those are the main things, I think. The goal you took well. If I was to do another session with Sean, I'd probably ask him to record a game against somebody his own level, so I could see how he gets to attack a little bit more. I'd see the shooting selection has a bit more. But I think there was a lot we could pick up from that game. Sean's got a lot of the skills already to move to an elite level. The main gap, the difference is just the consistency, not diving in as much defense, and giving the ball away so much. Elite players don't give the ball away anywhere near as much, so if Sean can start doing that a lot more, he'll probably jump up that level very quickly. Boys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching. Any questions, let me know. If you liked the video, please literally like it, comment, let me know what you think. Appreciate you all watching. Have a good evening.